Hello, I'm Gov't Johnson with the IMF Tracker. This week, IMF Board approves Jamaica's first quarter performance. IMF not worried by delay in implementation of tax incentives bill. Private sector commends government's consultative approach. These stories in a moment, but first, our question of the week. Who are referred to as fat cats? Stay tuned, the answer comes up at the end of the program. Jamaica is to receive its second drawdown under its 4-year program with the International Monetary Fund IMF. Yesterday's IMF board approval of the country's first review paved the way for the disbursement of approximately $31 million. The government says the approval also paves the way for support from other multilateral development partners, including the Inter-American Development Bank and the World Bank. It also says the board was advised by the fund's staff of a revised date for the tabling of the omnibus incentives legislation. The finance minister says Jamaica remains on track to meet all the quantitative targets for the quarter ending September 30. The IMF says a short delay in the tabling of a new law on the tax incentives in Parliament should not postpone the enactment of an effective fiscal rule. The fiscal rule is to maintain gains from fiscal adjustments made. Finance and Planning Minister Dr. Peter Phillips delayed tabling the Omnibus Tax Incentive Act by the end of September to this month because of concerns raised by local and international stakeholders. Dr. Phillips told Parliament last week that the matter has been raised with the IMF and it was agreed that more time would be given to work out and enact the legislation. Acting chair of the Executive Board says the program for the remainder of the current fiscal year involves structural reforms to strengthen the fiscal framework. Meanwhile, the private sector organization of Jamaica, PSOJ, yesterday signaled that it welcomes a delay in the tabling of the omnibus tax incentive legislation. PSOJ President Christopher Zaka says it is critical that Jamaica implements the best law and that the added time will be of benefit to the process. He says his organization will continue to work with the government to ensure the implementation of agreed structural reforms such as tax reform. Zaka also commended the government for its approach in increasing the level of consultations with the public and private sectors. The Omnibus Tax Incentive Act is aimed at eliminating ministerial discretionary powers to grant or validate any tax relief and put in place a transparent regime for limited tax incentives. And to end our program this week, the answer to our question. Fat cat is a slang word used to describe executives who earn what many believe to be unreasonably high salaries and bonuses. These top executives also receive generous pensions and retirement packages consisting of extra compensation not available to other company employees. And that's where we end our trek this week on the IMF Tracker. I'm Gov't Johnson.